Well, Bills Mafia, we have a head coach, and his name is Joe Brady. I guess we're a little bit familiar. What's going on, Bills Mafia? You're watching the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith, and we are here live reacting to the Bills hiring Joe Brady as the franchise's 21st head coach. I'm shocked. You're shocked. Didn't think this decision would be coming this morning. Joe Brady had just completed his second interview with the Las Vegas Raiders. Does that have something to do with it? I don't know. But Ian Rapoport, Adam Schefter, they all came in with the news saying the Bills are promoting their own offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, to be the franchise's next head coach. I'm just not that inspired, folks. Instant reaction right off the bat. I'm just not that inspired. It is a 5-year deal coming in for Brady here. Josh Allen, 17. He had sat in on all the interviews with each head coaching candidate coming into this decision, and clearly he signed off on Joe Brady being the franchise's next head coach here. He's been with the Bills since 2022. He's led the team to back-to-back top 3 finishes in terms of scoring offense. But a lot of people weren't too happy with the way that Joe Brady was calling the offense this year, with the over-reliance on the screen game, with the taking away of Khalil Shakir as a downfield threat. They still put up points. I'm trying to figure out some ways to, justify this hire, but it's interesting to me. You hire Joe Brady after Brandon Beane, Terry Pegula get up on that podium and talk about exploring all their options. But they didn't explore all their options. Clint Kubiak is coordinating the offense for the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. The Bills cannot talk to Clint Kubiak until after the Super Bowl. So they would have to wait 2 weeks. It's a long time. But if they thought that he could be the guy, then they should have waited. But they didn't. They were impatient. And part of me thinks that they felt the footsteps coming from the Las Vegas Raiders about to hire Joe Brady. I don't know. What I do know is that Brandon Beane, this is a decision that he was certainly okay with. When you look at the chain of command now with the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane promoted from general manager to not only general manager, but also president of football operations. Joe Brady was their offensive coordinator last year. So even though Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane maybe had a bit of a power struggle, Joe Brady was clearly a subordinate. And that feeling's not going to go away now that he's just promoted to the head coach. It's still going to be Joe Brady, then Brandon Beane, then Terry Pegula. So I think that this is a hire that Brandon Beane is comfortable with because he's not going to have to deal with as much conflict as he did with Sean McDermott we know now. Or maybe a Brian Dable who's not afraid to MF you to your face. Or Grant Yadinsky, a young hotshot mind who's coming in to change up the status quo and will challenge Brandon Beane if he thinks something's different. They went out there and made the safe hire. They went out there and made the comfortable hire. And quite frankly, I think they went out there and made a panicked hire by going and making this move to hire Joe Brady. I mean, there weren't any second interviews either. That's what I'm so worried about here. Like, they didn't even decide to talk to any of these guys a second time. Not Brian Dable, not Joe Brady, not Grant Yadinsky, not Nate Scheelhaus after you quickly interviewed him on Monday night, not Davis Webb, none of these guys. And you didn't even get on the phone with Clint Kubiak one time. So this is a decision they now have to live with. This is a decision Josh Allen has to live with because clearly his input was given and clearly it was received. We knew he would have a big input. Terry Pegula came and said to the public that the quarterback would have an input in hiring the head coach. We'll see if that was the right decision to make or not. What's your one-word reaction to the Bills hiring Joe Brady as I get acquainted with all the fine folks down in the live chat here on the Bills Breakdown? Let me know what your one-word reaction is to this hire, making Joe Brady promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach. Screen theft coming in and saying disappointing. Disappointing? I can absolutely resonate with that, man. I'm a bit disappointed myself. I'll say this, for those of you who are looking for an ounce of optimism during this time, Josh Allen was looked at as a WTF, oh my goodness, disappointing, type of selection when they ended up drafting him back in 2018. I'm feeling that similar kind of vibe now. But the difference is between those two moves is we've seen Joe Brady, and we've seen just the limitations that the offense had so far or down the stretch of this season. Look, I get it. Not winning the Super Bowl, not reaching the Super Bowl is sure to stir up different thoughts in people's minds. So obviously that you're looking for somebody new to blame this season, and Joe Brady was that guy. You've blamed the defense already. You've blamed Sean McDermott. You've blamed Brandon Beane. So Joe Brady was catching a lot of flack this season, but it doesn't make the hire right. Yeah, this screams to me that they made a panic hire. Pagula definitely had his hands all over it too. Browntown Buffalo offense is not the problem, guys. The offense sputtered many a times this season. I know they still put up 30 points in a lot of matchups there against Cincinnati and in New England the second time, and a couple other high-powered offenses that you matched up against. Obviously, Denver, they did end up putting up 30 points, but it wasn't enough. But that wasn't because of the defense. The offense put themselves in bad situations. And it's not to blame. That's not that the players are blameless either, but I don't know, man. For a team to be upset about where they haven't been and then promote a guy who's been there like majority of the time, I don't understand it. Screen Theft's talking about all the terrible moves made by Brandon Beane. Trust me, there's no shortage of those. Man, I'm not that inspired by this. We'll talk about Joe Brady a little bit though. He's been the Bills' offensive coordinator since 2024. Was the interim taking over for Ken Dorsey in 2023, and the offense took a huge uptick. I'm not going to sit here and act like Josh Allen hasn't said that Joe Brady hasn't been awesome for his career. He has said that, but I don't know, man. Former Panthers offensive coordinator, was the LSU pass game coordinator when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson were making fireworks. Yeah, Carl Knight said, not a bad hire, but super uninspiring. Like, what's the change? They decided to make no change. No changes. I believe Bobby Babich is going to be back as defensive coordinator, which is, oh, God, this is something. But the Bills went out there and hired Joe Brady. I told a friend of mine that this is a possibility, that this could happen. Actually, a week ago today, a week from today, I told him that. And he called me an idiot. He said I didn't know what I was talking about. But I kind of wanted to be right. I kind of wanted to be an idiot and not know what I was talking about. Here we are. I know too much ball, I guess, for my own good. Now Joe Brady is the head coach of the Bills. Look where we are. If I'm Joe Brady, I'm at Greg Rosenthal tweet now. If I'm Joe Brady, I'm absolutely trying to hire Sean McDermott as my DC. It's a good scheme fit with the players they have. That's good stuff, man. This is hilarious. This is a time to laugh because the Bills, at the end of the day, are a poorly run organization. They have been our entire lives. But they just found a Bugatti and some keys laying around in the middle of the street. And it's like that meme, sir. It's like that meme of the Bugatti in the trap house. That's what the Bills are. They're shit wrapped in Gucci. Horrible. It's embarrassing to Josh Allen, who puts his life on the line for this team and continuously drags them out of holes. You know, honestly, you can blame Josh Allen for this. You can blame Josh because not only was he a part of the interviews, but he's also the guy who has dug Joe Brady out of all these holes. He's the guy who's made Joe Brady look so damn good. I'm embarrassed. I really thought they were going in a different direction. You saw the prediction market surging with Greg Yadinsky becoming the favorite. Brian Dable was looked at as the favorite the entire time. I mean, at least that would be a change from the current administration. No change. No change at all. Let's keep things exactly the same as they were because, you know, we were winning so many Super Bowls with Joe Brady calling the plays. Let's do it again. Let's do it some more. Let's win more. What recommendations do I have at OC? Guys, OC doesn't matter. OC doesn't matter. He's calling the plays. It's his show. It's Joe Brady's show on the football field. Oh, my goodness. Hope this isn't a case of the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. I mean, very well could be. Pierce Green says, I believe it was Vince Vaccaro who said that. It was Vince Vaccaro who called me an idiot, said I should never talk about the Buffalo Bills. But hey, unfortunately for us, Mr. Green, I was right. And it is, in your words, a very not glorious hire. Joe Brady, I don't think gets any glory. He barely has a neck. And I'm just, you didn't want to change anything. You didn't want to make a change at all. Like you removed the guy at the top just because you guys were butting heads. And look, I get it. Sean McDermott was apparently, with things coming out, very blameful, not taking the blame for a lot of the Bills' shortcomings. He put the 13 seconds on his defense and his coordinators, even though he's the one who put themselves in that position. He decided not to squib. He took over the decision-making down the stretch of that game. And he's blamed other people. He's blamed Brandon Beane this season for the shortcomings of the roster, which I'm sure is warranted, but they got tired of that. And then they decided to just keep the guy right under him. I don't know. There's trust there with Brady. Don't need a stranger in here. Smart. Yes, you do need a stranger in here. What are you talking about? You don't need a stranger in here. Clearly, shit's not working with the people they know. Gotta go get somebody else they don't know. What do you mean? I don't understand how anybody's like justifying this and saying to themselves, yeah, you know what? I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to take a risk. That's what the Bills have been doing for the past half decade. That's what they've been doing for the past half decade. Not taking risks, continuing with the status quo, keeping Sean McDermott. They just made a seismic change, firing Sean McDermott, but they decide to just hire his vice president as the next guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Grade the hire. Grade the hire down in the comment section. I'll bring in my guy Searle here in a moment to talk about it. But, man, I mean, it had to be signed off by Josh. It had to be signed off by Josh. I'm not too inspired by this. Joe Brady does not mog. Yeah, he definitely doesn't. He looks like a doofus. Jack Conroy giving it an F. Mariah giving it a D-. Nathan Tullis giving it a D. Brian Webster giving it an A. Brian, I would love to know what your thoughts are giving the grade an A. I think if Joe Brady were to accept the other head coach position, it would have been a lock to move in a – it would have been looked in a more positive light. But since it's the Bills, it has mixed reviews, which I don't disagree with. Hey. Poor lower third of his face is unbelievable. Josh Allen will never make a Super Bowl. Diggs, yeah. So, what do you think on the hire, man? I just gave you my take. I know I was a little bit rambunctious, a little bit emotional, a little bit energetic about it, but I want you to give your own opinion on this hire for Buffalo.
It's just so lackluster. Doesn't bring anything to the table. And you're a franchise that has been needing and wanting to get over the hump for God knows how long. I mean, especially these last few years, you've been so close in the AFC Championship games, and this it's a massive step back for the organization as a whole, in my opinion. It's not a splash hire. The one thing that is intriguing is that you said it, Josh Allen probably signed off on this.
Yeah, I mean, he's had success underneath him, but Josh Allen's had success under everybody that's coordinated him.
Exactly.
I don't get it. Now, this is a interesting tidbit here from Cover One. Shout out to them. They do great work. They put out a tweet that said, I think it's pretty clear that Joe Brady was not a Sean McDermott guy. McDermott made that clear throughout the season in his press conferences. What makes you wonder was Brady running the type of offense that he would choose? Only Brandon Beane and people inside the building know that answer. So maybe Sean McDermott was giving Joe Brady a little bit of direction in terms of what he wanted to do with the offense. and what their whole plan was big picture-wise. And then Joe Brady kind of just had to work with what Sean McDermott directed at him. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. People are upset about this hire. Somebody did bring up a little nerd graph here that I'll talk about. The Bills have had the second most efficient offense in the playoffs from 2023 to 2025. The only team ahead of them is Seattle, who has only played 2 games with Kubiak. That's it. Well, speaking of Kubiak, they didn't interview him. They didn't wait. They weren't patient enough to talk to him. So that tells me that they felt pressure that the Raiders were going to hire Joe Brady. And I don't think the Raiders were going to hire Joe Brady.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think they were. They completed a second interview with him today. They've completed 5 other second interviews. The Bills, they completed 0 second interviews. They didn't want to talk to anybody a second time. They didn't want. You know what? We got all we need to know. We don't have any more questions. Joe Brady is Gen Pop, Pierce. Joe Brady is never VIP. Joe Brady is never buying a section. Joe Brady is just uninspiring. I don't know. Like now and now I'm just like thinking about what the next season's going to look like. We got D-Hop going on podcast saying me and Josh Allen will look great together next year. Like, what type of bizarro world are we living in? This is so unfortunate. I'm just reading a bunch of tweets, guys. I want to get some thoughts out there and some stats as well. So people are throwing out some good numbers here about Joe Brady because that's always going to happen when you hire a head coach. Some nerds out there are going to throw you the EPA stats and shove them up your ass and tell you that you need to buy into this hire, no matter what you think of it. And look, I like the nerd stats too. I'm just messing around and emotional right now because this is just a very interesting move by this Bills organization that historically has been run pretty poorly, and this is their latest big time move. 2 massive changes, yet not so massive changes in the last 2 weeks for this franchise. We'll see how it works out for them. What do you guys think? Keep getting your thoughts down in the live chat here. Joe Brady is your next head coach of the Buffalo Bills. 146 people watching. If you haven't yet, go down below, hit that like button. If you're excited about the future of this franchise, you always got to be excited with 17 under center. So make sure you go down below, hit that like button, get this stream out to as many people as possible. Share the show. We want this to be the biggest Bills live stream covering this saga today. So go down below, hit that like button to spread it out to YouTube, because that's what they do when we get a bunch of likes early on in the stream. For those who say Joe Brady can't scheme open wide receivers, I'll say this. The Bills' pass EPA per snap when targeting wide receivers in the regular season was 19.8. They ranked 19th. In the playoffs, it was 22.9, good for 5th. So 5th out of, I guess that's 14 playoff teams. He can scheme wide receivers. He just needs more talent there, I guess. Oh, man. Need a new offensive coordinator? Promote Ken Dorsey. Oh, you need a new offensive coordinator? Fire Ken Dorsey. Promote Joe Brady. Oh, you need a new defensive coordinator after Leslie Frazier? Promote Bobby Babich. Oh, he was in-house. You need some defensive line help? Go. Oh, how about Jordan Phillips and Shaq Lawson? They were on the team 5 years ago. They should be fine. What about linebacker? How about call Balin Spector? Has been cut and signed to the roster every year for the past 4. Oh, maybe AJ Klein. Maybe AJ Klein could come in. Every single time the Bills tell you they're improving the roster, it's retreads. It's guys from Carolina. It's retreads. It's guys who were good on the team in the Obama administration. It's utterly ridiculous what this team does on a year-to-year basis. And it's the same guys at the top. I just... It's frustrating, man, because you want Josh to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And
you want it for Josh so bad for what he's done to the organization, and you go and make this hire. It sets you back
it could set you back
10 steps.
It could waste his career. It could completely waste his career.
Exactly.
This could be a hire that could completely waste his career. No, we're not happy.
Not happy.
This is
Not
utterly
happy.
ridiculous. You hire a low testosterone individual to be the next head coach. I'm not happy with it.
Basically.
Wasting Josh Allen's career. Yeah, probably. Probably. Somebody tweeted out, you can't get bitched at about wide receivers if the guy you pick as coach doesn't even use them. That's big brainy thinking out of Brandon Beane right there. Now, Brandon Beane also made this hire so he can control Joe Brady, so he has a clear pecking order of what's going on in this franchise. I'm the man. I'll make the decisions. I'm Brandon Beane. I wear the sunglasses. Oh, my God. Go get another fade. Go get another fade, dude. Oh, my God. This is so embarrassing. Totally wasn't. It was totally a power move. Totally a power move. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Couple of keys. I got some stuff from Albert Breer of SI. He's a very smart guy. In the hire of Joe Brady, there was a head coach as CEO piece of every candidate's interview with Buffalo. Brady hit a home run on that, and Brady's promotion allows for scheme continuity and easy alignment with GM Brandon Beane, who made the call, and the scouts. So it was a power move. But hey, Joe Brady aced that part of the interview. I heard Grant Udinski interviewed him great too. Love the Bills owner saying the coaches wanted Keon Coleman just last week and they promoted the offensive coordinator. Oh my God. Oh man. This is defeated. This is defeat. This is you're a loser franchise. What do you guys think about this question?
This is a good one. I want to hear the people's thoughts.
Do you guys have hope? Do you guys have optimism for this franchise? Will they win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen? Will the Bills win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen? I want to hear what you got to say down in the chat. Oh, man. Joe Brady.
Seeing a lot of yeses down the chat. Actually, a good mix of yes and no's. What's your take, Smitty?
I think that they will because Josh will always overcome the shortcomings of his surroundings.
Right.
But man,
when is the organization going to give him just everything he needs, though, to get the Super Bowl? Like, I don't know. This hire just unenthusiastic. But like we said, Josh probably signed off on it, which is encouraging. But
it's encouraging, but you also don't always want the quarterback picking the head coach.
Exactly.
Now, what I will say is, I was a little bit worried about maybe guys getting hired at 30 years old, or Davis Webb getting hired and him being Josh Allen's buddy, or Brian Dable getting hired and him being Josh Allen's buddy. I don't know if Joe Brady and Josh Allen are like homie. I don't know. Maybe they are. They could be, and that could be something that could raise more question marks and concerns here. But I don't think that Joe Brady and Josh Allen hang out on the weekends like Brian Dable and Josh Allen did. So we'll see. We'll see about that aspect of things. Also, a couple of key. This Breer tweet is straight from the Bills. It's straight from the. Of course, they're gonna say he aced the CEO portion of the interview. You shitting me? Yeah, you know what? He sucked the CEO part, but man, he made us laugh a couple times, so we're gonna hire him. God damn, what do you think? These idiot coaches made us pick Keon Coleman. Here's our new coach. One of those idiot coaches. Oh my God. Yeah, and he does. I mean, he did have a leg up on the other candidates, knowing the current trajectory of the franchise, what the vision is from Brandon Beane, the people up top of the front office, what they want, that continuity, and knowing the culture is a leg up on the rest of the people that we're interviewing for this job. And you can't deny that, but it doesn't mean he's the right hire. Yeah, nobody's really happy about this. I'm not understanding. We are one subscriber away from 13,400. If somebody in the chat right now is not yet subscribed, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button because it's free Bills content all the time. All offseason long, we'll be tracking what Joe Brady does with this staff, what moves Brandon Beane makes in free agency, in the draft, via trade. This roster hopefully looks a little bit different next year, and we're going to be following it all here at the Bills Breakdown. That's why you hit that subscribe button. Free videos, live streams, short-form content, and more. You're going to find it right here on the channel. Man, very, very interesting. We're live for 26 minutes. Probably going to stay live for about an hour here talking Bills hiring Joe Brady. If you guys want to get your message up on screen, you can send in a super chat. Shout out to that brand new subscriber. And shout out to all these recent subscribers who have joined the channel. I would assume today, given all the news that has come out on Joe Brady being hired as the head coach here. Man, this is certainly something. I just want to see something we got here. Video 6 to 10, not too bad. Usually when you have major national news like that, the videos don't do too well. Joe Brady. So I need to see who. I mean, I don't think anything's been confirmed about Bobby Babich. But I'm curious to see that if he becomes the defensive coordinator or not. Let's see. Let's see what anybody's saying on Twitter. Yeah, he's definitely going to keep him. Wouldn't be the least surprised bit at all if Bobby Babich ends up staying too. This is the everything was Sean McDermott's fault decision. I'm serious. Like, this is like promoting Joe Brady signals more than ever that everything was Sean McDermott's fault. Everything that this franchise has suffered over the last few years is his fault. Which, if that's true, you not firing him sooner makes you look like more of a joke. You're not firing Sean McDermott sooner if you're going to put every ounce of blame and every shortcoming on him. Because you're hiring, you're keeping everybody else. You're literally keeping everybody else but McDermott. So everything's on him. That's what you do by making this decision. Wow. I'm stunned. Promoting Joe. This is Peter Schrager. A note on Josh Allen's role in the Bills' head coach search. He was in the room for many of the candidates' in-person interviews and got to see behind the curtains on process and offer his opinions on each. He wasn't a part of the narrowing of the final list for the final head coaching decision. So, this franchise is full of losers. So he was in on the interviews, but he didn't get to say who he thought was the best. Okay. All right. This is the most panic fucking hire I've ever seen in my life. This is the most panic hire. This is a generationally bad month for the Buffalo Bills. Generationally bad. And I mean generationally because you could have set back the franchise generations. Jordan Schultz, what the Bills liked about Joe Brady and the main reasons they hired him per source. I'm going to bookmark a lot of these and just make another video later today. Maybe you get Davis Webb. Maybe you get Davis Webb. Yeah. He'll be gone. The Bills will do well next year. They'll make the Super Bowl, lose, and then Davis Webb will get a head coaching job. Davis Webb will be the head coach. Yeah, I had to bookmark some of these because we're gonna do a video. Bills fans get major news after Joe Brady hire. That's what it'll be. Tonight's video will be that. Ah! He nailed the importance of alignment between coaching and player personnel. Yeah. So he said, I'll be your bitch boy, Brandon Bean. That's what he said. That's what he said. He also nailed the importance of alignment between coaching and player personnel. So he said, I know my place. I know my place, Brandon Bean. Please give me the job. Please promote me. Oh my God. Loser shit. That's loser shit. I'm appalled. Do I think the Bills' window is closed? I mean, it just comes down to him calling the plays. It comes down to the players in the field. It does. It does. So the Bills better go get some good players in the field. His vision for how everything would be structured from the head coach seat was viewed as, quote, a home run. Yeah, because he said he would bow down to you. He said he would submit to you. So you hired him. Oh my God, bro. Oh, man. The defensive coordinator is the big thing we got to worry about next. And look, Joe Brady pass game coordinator in LSU. You know what he had on that team? Fucking Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. He had dogs. Go get him a dog. You have to. Get ready for more screens. Get ready for more screens, guys, because they're coming. More screens. If you guys have a question that you want up on screen, you can send in a super chat, $sign next to the chat box to contribute to the show today. You get your name, your message, your avatar popped up on screen. We can talk about it, give you a special shout out on the program. But we know not everybody can send in a super chat. So free and easy ways to support the show. Go down below, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed as well. When Bills news breaks, we've got it covered here on the channel. Subscribe. Turn your notifications on. We're covering the Bills offseason like nobody else on YouTube. Hit that sub button. Front office is so incompetent. Insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. Yep. More heartbreak coming. Yep. That's right. Because the Bills, they couldn't wait. They had to get him.
Could not wait.
You know, when you lose in the playoffs because of the offense back-to-back seasons, you just got to promote the offense coordinator to head coach.
Oh, yeah. You have to, right?
Yeah. Because when you couldn't, it was in the AFC Championship, they couldn't get a, well, one, they were getting hounded. Allen was being hounded in that game, passed by the pass rush. And then you couldn't get a yard on a tush push. And then they had that big fourth down play where Dalton Kincaid drops it. So the offense sputtered out in that game, right? I know they still allowed 30 points, whatever it is. They still allowed 30 points to Denver. It was still the offense's fault in that game. But let's promote the offensive coordinator. Like that. This is kind of what it tells me. Is like, does this mean the Bills are blaming Sean McDermott for the offense too? They're blaming him for the offense too. Because they said what this says is that we believe in Joe Brady's play calling. Sean McDermott was holding Joe Brady back in terms of design, game planning, play call, all that stuff. That's what this signals. The shit on Sean McDermott parade continues in Buffalo. Sean McDermott's going to remain in Buffalo, by the way. He's going to live there this year because his kids are in high school. Son's going to be the starting quarterback. Daughter's a senior. He's not going to uproot the family this year. It doesn't look like he's getting a head coaching job elsewhere. Oh, man. It feels the same. The Bills keep Bobby Babich on as defensive coordinator, then I'm going to be pissed. Because you clearly saw when McDermott took the play calling duties back over, the Bills defense got a lot better this season in the second half of the year. Man. I'm upset. I'm upset. We will overpay for A.J. Brown. He'll get hurt, play half a game, get ready for some more mid-tier talent at top price. Should have known it was heading this way when we were serious about Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers would have been a more fun hire. I think Phillip Rivers would have been a more fun hire. The unknown. The unknown
is sort of like
there's
nice.
There's a different ceiling.
And you're not just settling for what you got at the moment.
Yep.
You know. 5-year contract as
well. 5-year deal.
I wonder.
You might fire him in 2 and owe him money.
Yep. Could easily happen.
Absolutely. If the Bills missed the playoffs any of those years, because you fired a guy because he couldn't make the Super Bowl. Yeah. If this guy can't make the playoffs, then you're gonna have some fucking issues. Power move, my brain. Fucking power move. Woo! Going with Joe Brady. We're gonna wrap up here in a moment. Just don't think it matters too much. I'm interested. I'm curious to see what it looks like, but Joe Brady promoted as the Bills head coach. Oh. Somebody says Betty doesn't call plays. I don't know about that. Would certainly be surprising. Maybe you give it to Webb to call the plays then? I'm not too thrilled. History of Teams promoting coordinators to head coach. Freddie Kitchens to the Browns. He was 6-10 in 1 year as the head coach. Gerard Mayo to the Patriots. He was 4-13 in his 1 year as head coach. Antonio Pierce to the Raiders. 1 year, 4-13 as head coach. Brian Schottenheimer so far is a 7-9-1 record with the Dallas Cowboys. He's got a top 10 quarterback on the team. He didn't go 500. Ben McAdoo with the Giants. He did go to the playoffs. Still has an under 500 record, 13-15. Mike Mularkey, the Titans. You guys, I could have made that name up, and I don't think you guys would have cared. 18-14, 2 years as the Titans coach. Dennis Allen with the Saints, 2.5 years as the Saints coach, 18-25. Dirk Cutter with the Bucks, 3 years, 19-29. Doug Marrone with the Jaguars, 4 years, 22-42. And the one good decent one, Frank Reich with the Colts, 41, 43, and 1. Oh wait, he was still under 500. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great. Woo! If you're frustrated, if you're not thrilled, I get it, Bills fans. I get it. Alrighty. I think we got to go do some more vids on this. I think we got to go do some more research, some more work, talk about this hire a little bit more concisely. We're here live reacting to it. But I think it's about time that we sign off here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in today, talking about this. We'll keep you guys tapped in. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn those notifications on. Hit the bell icon. Select all. Make sure you know when we post content here on the channel so you're always in the know about your Buffalo Bills. Joe Brady, hired as the franchise's next head coach, promotion from offensive coordinator. It's not super inspiring, but we are going to be hopeful. We're going to be hopeful that this Bills team can lift the Lombardi Trophy and win a Super Bowl, bringing it to the 716 with that guy at the helm. Make sure you subscribe, turn those notifications on. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, let's go Buffalo.